So our final speaker today was a former world-class runner who professionally ran for Nike and was a 3-time US Olympic trials qualifier. He also is one of the first 600 humans to break the coveted 4-minute mile barrier, which is pretty ridiculous. He's been a realtor for nearly 20 years and is the author of The Long Run, a book about perseverance in running, business, and life. So please put your hands together for Mr. Ben Andrews.
Yeah, Portland native Ben Andrews was a track and field star for the University of Oregon, Nike, and the United States. Before that success, though, faced a lot of adversity, and he's now joining us in studio to share more about his story, his brand new book. Ben Andrews, thank you so much for taking the time to come in this morning.
Hello. All right, I'm going to do something real quick. This is for my son. This is not going to go on the gram. This is just for my son. He always says, Dad, what do you do every day? Today I'm speaking. Usually I sell some real estate. So count of 3, if you guys could just say, hello, Henry, your dad's rocking it. 1, 2, 3.
Hello, Henry, your dad's rocking it.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So we're going to get interactive. Am I too loud, too low? Good? Loud? Okay, I can bring it down. I can get very white real quick. Who remembers their first kiss? A lot of you have kids. You had to have kissed at some point. Who had a horrific first kiss? Horrific. What was their name? Tyler. What was Tyler's deal? Awkward. That probably had as much to do with you as it did him. All right. Who remembers their first real estate transaction? Now I got your attention. Who had a horrific real estate transaction? Yeah. Do you remember their name? Yeah. Never let it go. This is how you can hit me up on social, before, after, during, whenever. All right, so here's what we're here to do today. Real estate sales funnel. Put more money in your pocket. So this is what we have to do. We have to attract, which is driving people to your business. Interact, you have to engage with the consumer, engage with your database, make them fall in love with you, make them refer you to your friends and family. Convert them, so now you're talking about business, making sure that they do business with you, and then after you do business, take it offline. That's when you discuss life, you stop talking about business. Pretty simple, pretty simple. I love Wayne. I was hoping he had a little Texas accent though, because one of my favorite speakers is a guy named by the name of Zig Ziglar. You guys know who Zig Ziglar is? Amazing. Amazing guy. And my parents turned me on to Zig Ziglar at a very early age. A lot had to do with his voice. He had that cool Texas drawl. And he said, you can have everything in life you want if you will just help enough others get what they want. That's my best Zig Ziglar. That's all I've got. Thank you very much. I'll say it again at the end, by the way. I'll see if I improve. This is my mom and dad. That's who got me into real estate. Whose parents got them into real estate? All right. My dad was a can maker. We're a Christian family. Go to our house, we look like LDS because my dad hoards canned food like crazy. Great guy. Worked cans for 36 years in a factory. My mom cleaned houses. My mom was an amazing house cleaner, mainly known for her ability to clean toilets. On the rare occasion, 8 times, that I was suspended from school, my mom let me go to work with her, which is exciting the first time. Because the first time we went out to breakfast at Elmer's, I had a German pancake. She went to buy me a toothbrush. You gotta keep your teeth clean. took me to Aaron Kinney's house, my best friend, and that's whose house we were cleaning that day. She told me because he had a bird that she was petrified of, Beanie the bird. And if I call Aaron Kinney right now, he will say, Meanie, Meanie. It's known him 40 years. But when we got to the house, I brushed my teeth, and then my mom took me downstairs to the toilet. And she said, I know you like Aaron a lot, and so I'm gonna make sure that you don't miss a spot on his toilet, and you're gonna use this toothbrush to clean his toilet. So this became our process all the time. Every time I got suspended, we'd go get a toothbrush. I knew what was coming. But one year, my mom and dad heard my brother and I talking about going to Disneyland. That was our dream. My parents together made about $43,000. Today, that's about $60,000, and not enough to go to Disneyland with 2 kids. So if you had Expedia back in the day, we looked up Medford, Oregon a lot, because that's where my aunt and uncle lived. It was free. We used their hotel, which was a spare bedroom. But my mom said, you know what, no, we're gonna go to Disneyland. We're gonna take the kids to Disneyland. And so my mom got a real estate license. And she said, we are going to do this. The old Callaway song, I'm gonna be rich, was on loop all the time. And she got her first client. And her first client, from the days of cold calling, she got them, and they were at the home inspection, and they told my mom, she overheard them saying that they didn't have enough money to pay the inspector. And so my mom pulled them aside with dreams of taking us to Disneyland and said, marriage is beautiful, and marriage is also very hard. And it's a lot harder if you don't have any money. And it's a lot harder still if you don't have money when you start. So what I think you should do is back out of this transaction, call me in a year, and build the biggest emotional bank account that you can for your marriage to go on down the line. So that particular company, I'm gonna have you come up real quick. Come on up. You were talking at lunch, you can come up here, come on. And you, Cristal, I believe, right? All right. So with this particular, you guys are over there, and you're gonna be right here. You're gonna get ready, you're gonna be put on blast. I hope you're not shy. Right here for everybody. So with this particular company, I'm gonna give you guys a book, but inside is your check. And here's what they did at this company, Better Homes and Gardens. They would call out and say, Jim, you got a check today. And everyone, clap, 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 clap. Bill, you got a check today. Clap, 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 clap. And this went on every Friday. That's how they did their team meetings to make sure people would show up. They had money in hand. This is where you come in. And then they brought out a box to my mom. And they said, Cindy, we have something for you. Now, my mom made the mistake of opening it in front of 65 other people. 7 women, 58 men. Go ahead and open it. What's in there?
Cleaning supplies.
And a book. But toilet bowl brush and cleaner. And they said, Cindy, we like you, but you're more cut out for cleaning the shitty toilets in those houses than selling them. Thank you. You can keep the book.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Give them a round of applause. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, what do you think my mom did? We're going to Disneyland. Did my mom quit? I'm a referral guy. My business, 100% by referral. 152 people last year said, you got to call Ben. He's going to outcarry his competition. Got to call Ben. He's got a great team. Ben and his team will stand up for you more than anybody. You got to give them a call. So because I'm a referral guy, I've got one for you, and it's this book, What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. Anyone read that book? Best self-help book I've ever read. I've read it 39 times. in the last 6 years. My mom had never read this book, so she quit. She got out of real estate, went back to cleaning those shitty toilets like a champ. Shined. Best toilets in Park Rose. Speaking of books, this is a good one too. Author's amazing. And you become an author, you look at the word author differently. It becomes in bubbles and looks different. And when you're having a good hair day like I am today, you look hard enough in the mirror, you look like this. True story. So my mom never read What to Say When You Talk to Yourself, so she quit real estate. And when I went to real estate school, I had a dream of taking my kids to Disneyland. And I listened to a guy in real estate school say, I'm gonna follow every divorce attorney around town because I know I'm gonna get a price reduction at the listing appointment. I'm going to get one sale, maybe two, and if they are in the right neighborhood, maybe three. So this was my first listing appointment. First one ever. Southwest Corbett, John's Landing. I won't tell you the number. They're gone. I met with them. The attorney called me and said, Ben, I got a hot one for you. They want to get divorced yesterday. So I went over there and I sat down and I said, Crystal, this is Crystal? Crystal? Crystal. Okay, sorry. You look like you like rap. Crystal. I know, I do too. Dre or Snoop? East or West?
Oh my gosh, I don't know.
Oh, come on, you gotta know your rap if you're gonna have a name like that, girl. All right. So what they said is, Crystal, I know you wanna get divorced. Billy, you guys are together now. Here's all the things I'm gonna do for you. I'm gonna have a photographer come out, take great photos. I'm gonna call every realtor in this zip code and let them know that I'm gonna do everything I can to sell this house. This is a great house. I can say what is great about this house. I'm going to reverse prospect. Everyone is going to know about this house. I made $3,800 on that deal. Never talked to him after the sale, never talked to the attorney, and did about 8% of what I said I would do, because it just felt yucky. And if you do divorce business, I'm not shaming you, but it didn't sit right for me. There are times where you have to help, and you do, but this one felt so yucky, I knew I wasn't going to hang my business on it. All right, book giveaway now. Does anyone know what this building is? What's that? I'm saving you $16.09 right here. The bingo hall. Huh, that's some big-ass bingos in there. This is one of the most famous buildings in the world. Oh, this one. Sorry. Wow, someone got into that liquor at lunch. And by the way, I met Jessica Cash today. Tell me her name is not just made for real estate. I'm not going to call you out. That's all I got. Cash? You're a realtor? Are you kidding me? Yeah, that's true. Anyone recognize this building? Close. Sistine Chapel. This is one of the most famous buildings in the world. But when we look on the outside, this is what we see. When we go inside, this is what we see. A lot like our database, like our business. This was built in the late 1400s, and it sat vacant for nearly 2 decades because the Roman Catholic Church didn't know what they wanted to do inside, and they approached a couple of different painters to do it. One kept saying, no, I'm not a painter, I'm more of a sculptor. It's a big building. It's a lot of ceiling. One of them was working on this. Does anyone know who did this? Michelangelo. The guy who they wanted to paint this was intimidated by this guy. Not the actual body. I mean, if I do 75 push-ups a day, but it's not going to happen. Button that up real tight. The painter didn't want to be compared to this guy. So 10 years later, the Roman Catholic Church came back to Leonardo da Vinci and said, we'll let you paint it. And he again said no. And they said, no, we're not asking you this time. We're commanding you do it, or you kicked out of the church. So he went back into the building, had scaffolding erected about halfway to the ceiling, and he slept there for a week. And he just looked at this bare ceiling and said, how am I going to do this? How am I going to figure out where this goes and this goes and this is connected and all of this stuff? How am I going to do this? And a week later, he figured it out. If you look right in the middle, towards the top, there's this picture. Do you see it? It's called The Last Judgment, Battle Between Good and Evil. There's a couple of paintings that intersect here. And he said, if I come here every single day, it's going to take me 10 hours a day, 6 days a week. It's going to take me 7 years to complete this. 7 years. Who's been in the business 7 years? Your masterpiece is not done, I promise you. You got a lot left. So this is what he started with. This was the first painting of the Sistine Chapel. And every single day he went in and focused on his North Star, his lighthouse, his God. Whatever you want to fill in the blank there, I'm not going to be offended. That was it. That's what got him through. And so, to do that, he needed the most angelic face the world has ever seen. This was his idea of the most angelic face, which blends into what he thought that young 13 to 14-year-old boy, which a lot of historians believe how old the boy was, that's what he would have looked like when he was older. And so he went to the streets of Rome. He went to the boys' choir. He wasn't a priest. He didn't stay long. Don't get too upset. I'm a Christian. It's funny. Haha. Got my Jesuit boy over here like, I don't know if that's funny. By the way, this guy referred me to this whole thing. I don't know anyone here except because of this guy. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. So every day for 4 days, that was a bad sentence. For 4 days, his parents brought him in to Michelangelo's studio. And he would draw this boy, draw a hairline, draw a chin, draw an eye for 4 days. And that's what he came up with. Sorry. That was it. Every day he went in, working. He had a ton of assistants. And he was a very hard man to work for, so his assistants were always quitting. There's a journal that I've seen where Michelangelo, it's obviously transcribed, translated, my help left me. They left him up on the scaffolding because they were just tired of working for him. So some of us can be very, very talented, but horrific leaders. I've had Tatiana's here today, my buyer's agent, rock star. She got, what was it? What'd you get called last night? Rising star at Keller Williams. Good job. I've had about 9, 10 people on my team over the years. I have not been a great leader. I've not been a good leader. And I'm getting better. So this is the last painting that he ended with. And this is called The Battle Between Good and Evil. And if you look at that face on the far right, that's the face of evil that he needed to find. So he went again out to the streets of Rome to find an evil face went to the darkest corners of the city, couldn't find anything, asked to go into the Roman jail, and there he found an inmate that he said, this is the guy, this is it. I want to draw him. So he drew him for a couple of days, every single day, the same process. And on the last day, as this man is shackled like this, Michelangelo asked if he could shake his hand. And the man didn't look up. The guard said no. I've been arrested, by the way. I've been in jail. Not being able to touch anyone is a prison far beyond any jail. It's horrible. Hug your clients, by the way. Coming out of a pandemic, they need it. You need it. I tell my wife that. She goes, keep that for stage, whatever. He continued to ask the guard, and finally he did. In front of the man, and he said, thank you for letting me draw you. Michelangelo did not look up. He said it again, and he finally yelled at him, look at me! And the man slowly lifted his face, and his eyes met the artist, and he said, don't you recognize me? You drew me 5 years ago. I was your face of God. If you look at the similarities, it's incredible. And what struck Leonardo da Vinci the most is that when he drew the face of God, it was also a bit of a self-portrait. So now he's looking at himself as the face of, there's a lot going on there. If we go back one, and one more, art historians, which I studied art history, failed 3 times, but it was a cute girl in there. I kept going back. They say one of the first paintings that ever depicted people of color. And that's why a lot of his help quit. So was he a bad leader, or did he just stand up for what he thought was right? Leonardo da Vinci was BLM back in the day. We can see what we choose to see. We can go into an appointment and this is what this is, or this is what this isn't. This is what these people need, or this is what I need. It's our choice what we want to see in someone or any situation. And Michelangelo, in my opinion, the better of the two, because he was a bigger thinker, at the age of 87 died, and this was his last words. Santino will probably say it better than I did, but in caro imparo. It's about all the Italian I have rather than Alfredo. He died at 87. Today, that would be the equivalent of like 110. It's wild, and he's still learning. In the recession, which was, Amy, I'm with you, absolute depression for me. I got my ass handed to me. We lived in a sexy 2-bedroom corner condo downtown, couldn't pay the mortgage, so far behind in our HOA, it's funny now, so far behind in our HOA dues, they say, hey, it's probably not a good idea that you come to the meetings anymore. See you in the hallway. I went to this appointment. I asked permission to have this photo taken them professionally years ago as something for my eyes. A guy from my church called and he said, hey, I've got a couple friends that are going through something. They want to, looks like downsize, change houses. I said, okay, cool. I need some money because I don't have any right now. And I went into this house, and it was the most incredible house I'd ever been in at the time. Most incredible home I'd ever been in. And you walk in, and there's a wraparound staircase here, wraparound staircase here. Looks like in-laws and extended family over here. A decade or almost 2 of kids and grandkids over here. Amazing. And I walked in and I said, I love your house. These are all the things I'm going to do for you. I'm going to have a photographer come out. I'm going to have some, no. How much can we get for our house? I don't know how you guys do business. I'm the fall in love with me and then I'll tell you the price guy. So I'll do the double appointment. More time, but bigger bang for the buck. Get myself 6%. I'll tell you I'll tell you how much you'll get. But first, I'm going to explain how I'm going to do it, what I'm going to do. I'm going to commit. No. How much can we get? And she starts crying. And I said, well, I haven't done any comps. You know, I don't like to come into a home with comps with me because the husband just said, dude, don't sell us. We're getting divorced. How much? And I saw them look at each other, and without the dramatic, they just tears started falling. And they both said to me at the same time, we still love each other, we're just not in love. At the same time. We both, what were you going to say? And I said, how many times do you come through the front door of this house? And she said, 6 to 8. And then she cut him off when he started answering, no, I do it because yours is working. Okay, fair enough, 6 to 8, we can agree on that. Okay. That's a lot of intros and exits of this house. And I'm not preaching, by the way, but I got the stage. They were referred by someone from church, so I knew they had a faith, and I just kind of took the law of the heavens into my own hands. And I said, let's go to the front door. So we go to the front door, we open the door and go outside. I did squats this morning, I know. And I said, okay, let's go in like you do every single day. And she laughed and she goes, well, we go through the garage. We don't go through the front door. So I opened the door and I said, really? You don't take all this in? And they started laughing and they said, this is the only thing we agreed upon in this whole house was this entry. And I said, well, this is a horrible time to sell your house, November 5th. Horrible. You have a pool in the back. No one's going to appreciate it right now. Let's wait till January, because January is a great time for a pool, right? I said, but here's what we're going to do today. I see you guys still laughing. You're crying in chorus. You're finishing each other's sentences. I didn't tell him I needed some money. But I said, if you promise me that you will come through this door every day you come in and out of this house, look at what's at stake, I'll sell your house for free in January. I came home, told my wife. She's like, I love you, but we're broke. And you're a dick when we're broke. I'm still funny when we're broke, but I'm a dick. And on Christmas Eve, they called me and said, Ben, we hate to tell you this, but we're not moving. I know you put a lot of time with us, but we're not going to move. And I said, hey, not a problem. I'm happy. If you could just say my name when you hear someone looking for a realtor, I'd be beyond honored. This was a big house, big commission, and within 1 year, like to the date, I'd made within $100 from referrals that they gave me. And then those people referred me, and those people referred me, and those people referred me. I don't like to keep track of numbers. I like to keep track of engagements and impact. But I've probably made well over $1 million from that one appointment. And I didn't even charge them for the counseling, for God's sakes. That rubs me a little wrong. But if you focus on what you need to do and what we are supposed to do, I think Wayne said it earlier, we're supposed to guide people through that process. And that doesn't always mean a transaction. It just means we have to guide them and be with them alongside of them. It's my mom's toilet cleaning star. And in September, the Queen of England passed. And my mom's always been a bit of a royalist. And so she wanted to go see the royals. And so we were at lunch having our favorite Thai food, and she said, well, wouldn't it be cool if we could just go? Now, my mom got back into real estate several years after she quit. I got arrested. I was facing a 5 to 15-year prison sentence. My public defender fired me because I wouldn't sign a plea bargain of a 3-year sentence. It's all in the book. It's an amazing story. My mom said, well, screw Disneyland. Now I've got a why. This part's always a little hard for me. But my mom went from being the woman that just saw herself as this lowly cleaner. I'm no good for anybody. I'm just going to clean people's toilets and houses. And with a database of 24 people, she cleaned 24 houses. That was her business. And she went to him and she said, I need you to support my business because I've got some big goals. First of which was me not spending 5 to 15 years in prison, being labeled a sex offender. My mom needed to save my life. And so before DocuSign, before the lock boxes we have today, before navigation, her cell phone plan worked on Thursday because that's all the money we could afford. Literally, Thursdays was it. My mom got to work. My parents had made $46,280 that year. My dad also hoards tax receipts. And in the next 5 months, my mom made $125,000 with an average sales price of $82,000. As she tells me today, she goes, that bitch got to work. So we were on that red bus behind us. We were at lunch. And she said, well, what if we could just go? And I said, Mom, do you want to go? And so we did. When she went to the bathroom, I booked us flights and we went. It was awesome. So we're on this red bus, and I said, Mom, do you think we'll see the Royals? And she said, well, Ben, the Royals don't ride on the red bus. I said, well, maybe we'll see them out here. And she said, you know what? Remember when I got into real estate and I wanted to take you to Disneyland? I didn't really get to work. And then I got to work when I really needed to work. Let's just get out and go look for the Royals. And I don't think this video is working, unfortunately, but this happened about 30 seconds after. It's incredible. They rode right by us. And I have a clip here where they ride by, and Chuck is right in front of me. And Billy. I've met him. His name's Bill now. They rode right by me. And I'm looking at my mom like, oh my God, this is the frickin' Royals. And I said, Charles! And the video is really cool. I can text it to you, whatever. And as I'm standing there, a woman says behind me, excuse me, it's King Charles. And my mom looked at me and she goes, that sounded a lot like my cleaning people. And I said, what the hell are you talking about? And she said, when I needed someone to stand up for you and for me, when someone said, I need a realtor, they said, oh, no, I've got someone. I've got someone. And my mom trained her clients, her cleaning clients, to say, whenever you need anyone, you call me and I'll connect you. And her entire database came alive. Over the years, our family sold over 5,000 houses. This is wrap right here. Or this. We've sold a bunch of real estate, not as much as my man Al coming up next, but we've sold a bunch of real estate. It's been all referrals. We've made a fortune, but beyond that, we have a very, very rich life. And that's why we do this. Because like back in my running days, you don't run a sub 4-minute mile just by going to work. You got to put in the work. And you got to surround yourself with people that believe in your goals as they're also pursuing their own. So if you're not on a team, find one. If you are on a team and it doesn't align with you, there's a lot of options. We're fickle people as realtors. Jump, get out, go find another one. I'm gonna try to do it, get my voice ready. You can have everything in life you want if you would just help enough other people get what they want. It's the best I can do because I have a little bit of a cold. So hug me, don't kiss me tonight at the drink spot. This is how you can connect with me. I appreciate your time. And again, Mike, thank you much, dude. You're a good man, dude. This guy can ball out, too. All right. Thank you very much.